Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on part 8 of Recipe for Disaster, freeing Sir Amik Varze. So this guide is on a particular sub-quest of the Recipe for Disaster series. If you haven't started this quest off, you'll need to do part 1, which is assisting the cook's quest, which you'll find in the video description below. So you must make sure you've completed that first part before you're able to do this sub-quest. Also, if you'd like to see a full list of the requirements that you need to complete all of Recipe for Disaster, including all the sub-quests, you'll also find that in the part 1 video as well. But for the purpose of this guide, in this video I'll only be listing the requirements and items you need to complete this particular part of the Recipe for Disaster quest. So there's quite a few requirements for this sub-quest. So of course you need to have completed part 1 of Recipe for Disaster, which is the Another Cook's quest. You also need to have completed the following: Cook's Assistant, Lost City. You need to have started Legends quest, which I'll talk about properly in a few moments, Family Crest, Heroes Quest, Shield of Arav, Lost City, Dragon Slayer, Merlin's Crystal, Druidic Ritual, Shiloh Village, Jungle Potion, Underground Pass, Biohazard, Plague City and Waterfall Quest. So where I said you need to have started Legends Quest, obviously you need the requirements in order to even be able to start Legends Quest as a whole. The only point you need to got up to in that is right at the beginning of Legends Quest you'll talk to a guy called Radimus who will give you instructions to go into the Khazari jungle. Now as long as you've got up to that part, that's fine, you'll be able to go into the Khazari jungle a bit further on, but you need to have the relevant items with you that he gives you at that point, otherwise you won't be allowed in there. So I would either suggest obviously just sort of waiting to do the Legends quest first fully and then come and do this part, or obviously just make sure you bring the relevant items with you. The only other requirements are you need to be able to defeat a level 100 black dragon. That's it for the requirements. Now onto the items. You need to have a bucket of milk and a pot of cream, both of which can be bought from the chest. You'll need to have some sweet corn, an empty pot, and again that can be bought from the chest. Radimus notes if you haven't completed Legends quest, which is what I was talking about a few moments ago. You will need your Dramen staff or Lunar staff in order to access Zenaris. You will need a anti-dragon shield or some super anti-fire. You'll need a raw chicken. You will also need ice gloves, which you obviously obtain during Heroes Quest, and hopefully you still got them. If not, you're going to have to re-obtain them. And you'll also need a Dramen branch. Now, I've already got those items with me in my inventory. For the Dramen branch, if you can't remember how to go about doing that, that is basically how you make the Dramen staff in the Lost City quest. All you need to do to obtain a Dramen branch is if you go to Intrana, and obviously you can't bring any items or equipment with you, then go to the north-western part of the island and go into the dungeon where obviously you went during Lost City. You can then go over to the Dramen tree and chop it in order to obtain the Dramen branch. And obviously any weapon, armor and food that you're going to need to be able to defeat the level 100 black dragon, and you also will need to defeat an evil chicken, which levels vary depending on your own level. Anyways, that's it for requirements and items. Now onto the quest starting point. So as always, for Recipe for Disaster, we are in the Lumbridge Castle Banquet Hall, where all the sub-quests take place, and in order to start you need to inspect Sir Amik Varze. So Gypsy Aris will tell you that to protect the knight from the magic of the Colonelromancer, you will need to feed him a creme brulee supreme. She recommends you talk with the cook next door for help with the recipe, and she also suggests you speak with the wise old man in Draenor about the evil chicken. So you want to head outside and talk to the cook, and he will again tell you about defeating the Colonelromancer. You'll need to ask him how you defeated him, and the cook will ask what part you didn't remember and ask about Sir Amik Varze, and he will tell you to mix milk with a pot of cream, then add corn flour, a vanilla pod from the Khazari jungle, the egg of the evil chicken, and the cinnamon from a ground Dramen branch. Once you combine the ingredients, flambe the dessert using a dragon somehow. So this is how you make the brulee, or brulee, however you want to pronounce it. Whenever I'm out in a restaurant, I never call it creme brulee, I always go creme brulee, and I always end up annoying whoever I'm with. But anyway, what you need to do is use your cream on your milk to mix a milky mixture. Next, you'll want to take your raw sweet corn to a windmill. There's a windmill just north of Lumbridge, so that'll be the one I recommend going to, as that's the quickest way. Once you're at the windmill, you want to go right to the top floor and put the Sweetcorn in the hopper, and then operate the hopper controls. And then if you go down to the ground floor and use your pot on the flour bin, you'll get a pot of corn flour. Then add the milky mixture to the pot of corn flour to make the corn flour mixture. So now we've got that, we're going to obtain the vanilla pod from the Khazari jungle. So first off, we're going to teleport to the Karamja Lodestone via the Lodestone network. Okay, so once you're here, the quickest way to get to the Khazari jungle is actually to get a travel cart to Shiloh village. So if you go northeast of Karamja Lodestone, just around the back of this massive building, you should see a guy with a cart, and you want to pay 10 coins and he'll take you to Shiloh village, which saves you a really long walk. Once you're in Shiloh village, go through the couple of gates and climb over the broken cart to get out, and you'll be just on the borders of the Khazari jungle. So to get in there, you now need to cut the trees to get deeper into the dense forest. Now, like I said at the beginning of the quest, if you don't have Legends quest completed, you need to make sure you have your Radimus notes with you, otherwise you won't be able to go in there. Either way, once you've hacked your way through the dense wood, you then want to head towards the pool of water, which is in the middle of the jungle. So if you just watch where I'm going. And then once you're there, if you go directly southwest of where you are, you should then come across some vanilla plants. You then want to search a plant to get a vanilla pod. Then add the pod to the cornflour mixture and it will become Lunar. So now we have that, we need to find out about the evil chicken's eggs. So we're going to go find the wise old man who is found in Dramen. So we're going to teleport to the Dramen village Lodestone. Once you're there, if you head in the direction of the bank, just opposite it is where the wise old man's house is. So talk to the wise old man and choose the fourth option, I'd like to ask you something, and then next choose the strange beasts option and then the evil chicken option, and he will tell you about the foul bird and to look for it in the land of fairies. So we're now going to head to Zenaris, and we're going to be fighting the evil chicken in a moment and also the black dragon. So I would make sure you've got all the items and weapons armor you're going to need in order to defeat those two. And either way, what we're going to do is head to the shed in Lumbridge Swamp, which you obviously use your Dramen staff with to enter Zenaris. So we're going to head in that direction now, but most of you should know where you're going for that bit. So once you're at the shed, make sure you've got your Dramen staff equipped and enter the shed and you'll be teleported to Zenaris. Now just near the fairy ring entrance there's a chicken shrine, which is actually where the evil chicken's lair is, and there's also some black dragons. Now to get into the lair, what you need to do is use your raw chicken on the shrine to be able to teleport inside. So once you teleport inside the lair, you should see a load of black dragons walking around. What you want to do is run directly north of them, and you should get to the part where the evil chicken's nest is, and you should see the evil chicken there. Now the evil chicken shouldn't pose too much of a threat to you. It fights the same way as it did during the random event that used to be a couple of years ago, but it's a slightly higher level now. But again, its attacks shouldn't be that dangerous against you, and obviously you should hopefully have food with you and that if your health points do get too low. Either way, once you've killed the chicken, you want to take the evil chicken egg and add it to your brûlure. So before we go any further, you now want to grind your Dramen branch into cinnamon with the pestle and mortar that's in your tool belt. You should be able to use the craft option and then add that to your brûlure. So that's it all made. Now the final step is flambeing the brûlure. So what we need to do now is kill one of the black dragons that's in the evil chicken shrine. Like I said, if you brought all those weapons and armor and relevant stuff with you and you've still got a good amount of inventory, then you should be able to fight them before leaving the area. If not, if you need to restock, obviously go to the bank in Zenaris and then come back and you should be able to re-enter the shrine if you use another raw chicken on it. But either way, you want to fight one of the black dragons and kill them. Now, as long as you're using sort of anti-fire shield and anti-fire potion or super anti-fire, you've obviously got good weapon and armor, you shouldn't have much difficulty against them at all. Stabbing weapons are mostly recommended because they are weak to that. Either way, once you've killed the dragon, it should drop a dragon token, and be sure to pick that up before you leave. And then what you want to do is escape the lair. So once you're outside the lair, what you want to do is either put on your anti-dragon shield or take a dose of your anti-fire potion and then rub the token inside Zenaris or Lumbridge. Ice gloves aren't required for this part, like compulsory, however you will take some damage from the fairy dragon that you're going to encounter, so make sure you're sort of full health. Either way, once you rub the token, a fairy dragon will appear and request that the dragon flambés your brûlard to make it a creme brûlard supreme. So once the fairy dragon has done your wish, you should end up with a brûlard supreme, and you need to bring this back to Sir Amik Varze in order to free him and to finish the subquest. So once you're back in the Lumbridge Castle Banquet Hall, use the brûlard on Sir Amik Varze and you'll teleport him to safety, and they'll come up, congratulations, you have freed Sir Amik Varze. You're awarded 1 quest point, 4,000 cooking and constitution experience, access to the Evil's Chicken's lair where you can fight black dragons, further access to the Coloured Romancer's chest, 2 treasure hunter keys and 2 hearts of ice. So there we go, that's the 8th part of Recipe for Disaster completed and another subquest finished. That will now remain, obviously, all the other subquests to complete, and like I said, you can do them in any order, so maybe you're doing this one last. There's no rule on what order you do it in. So if you look in the video description below, I have links for all the other subquests or guides for them once they're obviously available and made. So any other subquests that you need to complete, obviously feel free to watch the relevant guides below. But obviously with this particular subquest, if you do run into any problems at all, then feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you out as best I can. But if not, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Cheers guys, and I'll see you in another part of Recipe for Disaster. Bye for now.